Hello dear Felix, I was wondering if I can get a welcome to the jungle.
Just like
since
chips
it
and
has been
salsa at a
31
Super
months
Bowl
without
party,
one,
I'm about to
please.
double dip in here into some drama. Last week I made a video talking about hypocrisy. In a nutshell, the situation was two YouTubers, Scott Schaefer and MuKitty, made content talking about Twitch streamers being hypocrites due to the promotion of Fansly during the Streamer Awards, and I was named in both of these videos, because prior to this I had mentioned that it was very weird when Aiden Ross pulled up Pornhub on stream in front of his audience, which consists of a lot of kids, and meanwhile when Fansly was advertised during the Streamer Awards, I just laughed at it. So that's where the hypocrisy allegations come from. That's the genesis of it. And I thought it was an interesting talking point because of the subject matter, but I also wanted to defend myself from hypocrisy allegations that I felt were weightless, and that's what that video I made was all about. Now, Scott Schaefer, as I mentioned, tackled it from more of like a analytical standpoint, breaking down the problem itself, and I still do believe that his intentions are coming from a place of actually caring about the situation. However, the same can't be said about the other content creator, MuKitty. In the video I made covering this, I was very charitable with her intentions behind the content. I thought maybe I was wrong and got the incorrect impression on what her content was focused on. I thought it was satirical and ironic and trying to be silly on purpose with subject matter.
It is, though.
And I apologize for saying things that may have come across mean-spirited or made it sound like I was shitting on her when that really wasn't my intention. Especially considering we were both playing on the same team, I feel like we're both saying these things are bad. And for some reason, she's at my throat about it because of one difference in that I think showing Pornhub to the audience was worse. Not that that excuses the Fansly promotion, which again, I have never once defended or said was a good thing, but this slight difference in perspective on it has led to all of this hostility. And I tried to explain that in the last video because I thought maybe there was just a misunderstanding there, but she took the last video as more of a declaration of war. And another thing I want to come forward with right away, and I didn't think this needed explaining either, one of the core points that she as well as others are making is that this is actually a very insidious plot that I'm hiding on purpose because Ludwig is my friend and QT Cinderella is his girlfriend. QT Cinderella ran the Streamer Awards, she was responsible for the Fansly promotion. So people were saying that I'm, excusing everything she did because she's Ludwig's girlfriend. And I didn't think this needed explaining. This is going to be a common thing. I didn't think a lot of this needed explaining, but I'll do it anyway. I've now said in like 5 videos over the last 5 months, I don't see eye to eye with anyone all the time, even my best friends. So, even though I do respect QT, and of course I respect Ludwig, I consider them friends, I didn't see eye to eye with QT on this. Thus, I wasn't going to pretend like I did and defend it. I don't do that for anyone, not even my best friends. This wasn't some kind of secret association that was kept under wraps. I'm very public about Ludwig and I being business partners with fucking Moist Esports, for example, and we do a lot together. But that doesn't mean that I'm just going to look the other way on things that I feel differently about. I don't do that for him either. It's not just QT. I have actually talked about things I disagree with Ludwig on publicly as well. This isn't like some kind of big gotcha where it's like, it turns out Charlie does know QT. This is why he didn't say anything. That's just not the truth. And I did say it wasn't good. And now it's become clear after her most recent upload, as well as everything she's been posting on Twitter about me, that that little yucky spidey sense that was tingling in the back of my head telling me that she's probably just trolling to get a rise out of streamers to farm it for personal gain was unfortunately correct. And I'll go ahead and take the bait one more time here. I'll play along and eat this entree of medium well internet beef that she's serving up. She's been egging me on Twitter today to debunk all 20 lies she's caught me on in her most recent video. So I'll accept the challenge. I'll take the cinnamon challenge here and go through MuKitty's most recent upload, Moist Hypocritical Can't Stop Lying.
If you're coming here to see me troll around, I can't anymore, because Hypocritical lied so much about me and the situation.
Put her money where her mouth is.
That I was forced to re-edit my whole video and now debunk every single lie that was made.
Obviously, I immediately owe a huge apology to MuKitty and her whole community because my video was such a stinker that it's impeded her ability to make her regularly scheduled trolling. But I do want to come out right away and say that her calling me hypocritical, the play on words, hippo and then critical spelled like my name, is actually such a banger because that is a meme that started on my stream like 6 years ago when I was still streaming on YouTube. I was playing Fortnite and I had bought the battle pass for the John Wick skin, and chat fucking erupted when they saw me playing with it because I had for a long time talked about what a big waste of money the battle pass is. You're a fucking troglodyte if you buy the battle pass. And then fucking John Wick skin comes out, it busts down my resolve, and I spent money on it. So chat called me hypocritical just like this. And it became a bit of a meme. So to see her unironically use it here is almost nostalgic to a certain extent, but she's clearly using it to be combative as opposed to like jovial and kidding around.
Everybody, including me, is tired.
Oh my god, the audio is so loud. Yo, Charlie, fix your fucking video volumes.
We're not even 30 seconds into this video and she's already told her first lie, which is ironic. It almost makes her seem like the hypocrite here. She says that I have defended the promotion of porn to kids. Do you have any evidence to back that up? Do you have a clip of me saying that what QT Cinderella did with promoting Fansly during the Streamer Awards is good? Defending it in any way? Because as far as I can recall, I have only ever said that it's not a good decision. And that as well as Pornhub that Aiden Ross brought up on stream, are both bad. I have never once said that what she did was good or defended it, or defended her for the decision to do it. But she likes to tell her audience that I have, without ever showing any clips of me doing it. Because it hasn't happened. That is a blatant, bold-faced lie.
First lie manipulates the narrative that he already said both are bad. But
I get to my cursor, chat.
After my video, when his own fans has pressed him for 1 week for saying nothing.
Fuck. And on stream I talked about this last night. And I'll go ahead and get this out of the way right away. During that stream, and in the exact same video, MuKitty...
Chat, I have to do this monitor capture, unfortunately, sorry. I need to do duplicates. I need to do copy. I need to do paste. Because I have to. I need to remove this window capture. And because I just have to. Sorry. Wait, did I just duplicate my desktop? Did I just duplicate my desktop, bruh? Ah, shit, what the fuck?
X, why not do picture by picture mode, dude? You know you can do that on YouTube.
Oh my golly.
Has posted on one of her channels, I outright say both are bad.
He never say outright both are bad. All the streams is on my second channel. He defended himself and argued with his viewers for 10 minutes. And after a long battle, he said it's not a great decision, but never said both are bad.
This is a pretty interesting angle to try and play here, trying to catch me on not saying verbatim both are bad until the video went live. Even though I had explicitly said that it wasn't a good decision, which you outright acknowledge in this clip here, in your video. And the point I was making in the last video is in that same piece of content you posted on your second channel.
I got it.
I do say it is not a good decision. I don't understand why she's trying to make this argument here, acting like the whole audience has their brain off and can't understand what it means when I say something is not a good decision. That means it's not good, thus is bad. And since I'm talking about the QT Cinderella Fansly promotion moment, that is me saying it is bad. Same way I was saying the Aiden Ross Pornhub moment was bad. And I'd actually like to cannonball into the deep end of this pool a little bit and swim around a little more and explore it, because I didn't think this would be necessary. I thought we were all able to deduce human emotion, but it seems like a lot of her arguments are going to pretend like everyone is an actual...
I'm gonna pause. Chat. Guys, if you guys are gonna sway... And listen, if you're gonna say dumb shit, okay? And listen to one side, if it's left, then listen to both. Otherwise, you're just a dumb fuck. It's part of being an asset on the internet. If you throw some mud at one side, right? Well, you're obligated to hit it on the other side. Listen to video something such a bunch of bitches. It's so annoying. It's so annoying.
So I'm just gonna over-explain everything. She makes it seem like I never outright said anything or condemned the Fansly promotion during the Streamer Awards or called it weird or anything at all. I was just completely tight-lipped, radio silent, keeping a secret like I had Fairly Odd Parents and I didn't want to tell anyone. When that's just not the case. During the Fansly promotional moment, I laughed at it. Now, let me ask you, what would I be laughing at, if not the absurdity of a Fansly promotion being on Twitch? Scott Schaefer seemed to understand what the joke I was laughing at was, which was the wild nature of a Fansly ad being played.
And when the ad for Fansly actually came up during the Streamer Awards, you can see he actually lets out a little laugh, and it seems like he's at least somewhat uncomfortable that this type of content was being promoted during the Streamer Awards.
For exclusive behind-the-scenes content and a free trial of some of our
somewhat comfortable and enough to want a change is different.
Did I just
but, yeah.
get a little tickle from under the desk or something? There is nothing to laugh about there, except for the absurdity of the situation. I didn't think that needed explanation, so I didn't even bother in the last one. But it's
What
something
changed?
she
To stop
seemed to
doing
harp
it?
on that I never made any indication that I found it
Drugs.
uncomfortable or weird. And to go a step further, in the following stream or the stream after, in one of the days following the Streamer Awards, someone in chat had asked me if I thought it was weird that Fansly was advertised during it, and I point blank said yes. And this is actually faster than I called out Aiden Ross in the Pornhub moment. The clip that she plays, as well as the other people have played as well, is from a video I made called Aiden Ross Just Got Banned. Maybe you've heard
will
of
ask
him over
you
the
one
last
more
week or so
fucking
because
time.
Well,
he
it's
also
fine.
just
Yes.
freely streamed porn.
We don't want PTP. I don't have the PTP. Shut up.
Will have heard something very crucial there. I had said over the
Christ,
last
quiet,
week,
man.
you may have heard of this. It had been about a week since the Aiden Ross Pornhub Armageddon moment, and I had only mentioned it for around 50 seconds of this 11-minute video, which was focused on something else entirely. I just mentioned it because I was talking about a lot of the goofy things he had done recently. So I was just talking about it briefly, and it had taken me a week to even mention it. So I was actually faster to call the QT Fansly promotion weird than I was to call the Aiden Ross Pornhub situation weird. I didn't just ignore it. That is just a blatant lie.
Okay.
However, I don't want to be guilty of the same sin MuKitty's already committed of making a
I'll put that as a and say that argument would hold if he was also reacting to the Aiden Ross clip live on stream, which didn't happen. So the comparison here doesn't hold on either side, to be honest.
claim without any evidence to back it up, where she said at the beginning of this video that I defended the promotion of porn to minors, which is a sickening thing to even say. But the reason I'm mentioning this is because I cannot provide the clip of where I replied to chat about the Fansly promotion being weird, because I don't fucking feel like combing through 14 hours worth of streams the day and the day after the Streamer Awards went live. I really don't feel like going through it. So since I'm not providing the video evidence for it, I'm not going to use this as a point in my defense. So going forward, we're going to work under the assumption that I never said anything publicly about it on stream, and the only indication I made to condemning it or that I thought it was bad was when I laughed at it during the moment.
which is weeks after the call out.
Pretty clear from reading her comments, not like her personal comments, but like the audience comments, that the majority of the people didn't even
That's called a
watch the
concession
full
chat?
statement. There must be
Please?
a ghost in the machine of this lie counter on screen, because it's going wacko mode. I don't know what's being counted as lies here, because her points haven't changed, yet the counter is going up. I'm guessing it's because she's trying to say that the timeline condemns me. It had been about a week before I responded to her video, so my speed to the response was suboptimal. I didn't, get there like the fucking Power Rangers in time to talk about it. The explanation there should be pretty obvious to any sentient human being out there. I didn't see it until a couple days before I talked about it on stream. I had meant to talk about it the next day, but I forgot. I don't remember why, and I apologize. Maybe I should have talked about it the very second that I had finished watching it, but I forgot. And then the following day or whatever, when the MuKitty community kept spamming it, I did get a little upset because I just don't like spam, and I was already talking about other things. So yes, I did get a little upset about the spam, and I do apologize for that. That's just something that always grinds my fucking ass. I don't like spam, but I'm being completely genuine. I actually don't understand what the point she's making here is. That I was slow to respond to it, thus I'm guilty, I guess. I don't really think that's a very strong point.
The next lie is also very important, and it's done many times, where he words, I didn't do the exact same statement, when he didn't do any statement at all.
Thus, I disagree that it's hypocritical that I made statements about Aiden Ross and the porn thing being really weird, and I didn't make the exact same statements for QT Cinderella's Fansly sponsor. What? I don't actually really get what you're saying with this one. Is it an issue with the way I laid out the situation. In the clip you played, I'm just laying out the situation where people were upset that I had made a statement about Aiden Ross and streaming Pornhub to be weird, and then didn't turn around and make the exact same statement for Cutie Cinderella and the Fansly promotion. Was the issue me saying exact same? The word exact? Was that the problem? The pressure point? Because if so, I mean, I guess we can dive into that a bit. Maybe we need to start with a definition of hypocrisy, I suppose. So again, this whole video I made was just defending me from the hypocrisy allegations, not minimizing the actual subject matter, which I find to be a pretty important talking point. It was just defending myself from claims of hypocrisy. So I tackled it by pointing out that the Aiden Ross Pornhub situation and the QT Fansly situation were different, albeit both bad, and do have similar elements to them. So in this section where I said I didn't say the exact same thing, I'm highlighting that when people were criticizing me, they're talking about me not making like a whole video talking about the QT Fansly promotion, I believe. So that's what that was my definition of exact same. And I'll clear up confusion. I didn't make a whole video about the Aiden Ross Pornhub thing either. That was 50 seconds of an 11-minute video that was unrelated to that. And I did mention that the QT thing was weird. So in order for the situation to have been hypocritical, I would have needed to shit all over Aiden Ross and call it the worst thing in the world, get the pitchfork out because he showed the Pornhub moment, and meanwhile, pat Cutie Cinderella on the back and defend it, applaud it, say that the Fansly promotion is totally fine. That would have been hypocritical, and I was arguing that since that wasn't the case, it wasn't. Like, the word exact wasn't really a core part of anything I was discussing. Now, I would like to, however, throw her a life raft on a point here, because I do think there is valid criticism of me here. I've said this for a long time. No one is above criticism. Of course, that includes me as well. I do think that maybe I didn't come out hard enough against it, so maybe that led to a lot of confusion on how I felt about it. With Aiden Ross, I didn't make a whole video talking about the Pornhub thing he did. It was a very small piece of a bigger video. So I never made a video about that, but QT Cinderella situation I only ever mentioned on stream, and I think only like one time. So even though I didn't make a whole video on the Aiden Ross Pornhub thing, it was pretty clear how I felt about it. Whereas QT Cinderella, if you weren't watching the stream, it's possible that you didn't understand where I stood. So I do think that is a valid criticism where I didn't make it clear enough where I was at with it, and I think that would have been a good point to make. However, it's not hypocritical, because at no point have I ever defended it.
Yeah, the opposite, yeah. That makes sense, yeah.
So, I still disagree entirely with any of it being even remotely hypocritical, but I do, however, agree that
it would have to be the opposite, by definition,
where
yeah.
I stood on the whole situation.
He keeps pushing on this narrative that we missed the clip that proves he's not a hypocrite. But the clip is after my video, the day before this video. So he uses the word prove, which in the viewer's minds means that he is proving something, but the clip is after my video. Guys, do you understand?
I was saying, I'll go ahead and prove that it's there right now, real quick, before getting into why, of course, advertising Fansly, OnlyFans, or anything in front of an audience that has younger children on it, it's always going to be not a great decision.
Imagine how many people fell for this. Look at Asmongold's reaction.
I don't understand. What? I'm being left more confused than the first time I watched Inception when I was but a young whippersnapper. What is the point you're making here? All I was saying is a lot of the comments were calling me out for never even saying that it was bad, which is just wrong, and why I said you must have missed the clip, so I just proved that it is in that clip that is already on your fucking channel. That is what I was saying, is that I did say that QT Cinderella and OnlyFans or Fansly promotion is not a good decision. That is me calling it bad. So I was just saying that you might have missed it, and I was just proving that it is there in the content you posted. I did say it. That's the only thing I was saying. This has nothing to do with a timeline. This was talking about the people that were saying I never even said it was bad.
I didn't look away. I didn't look
And
away.
from the false lens. He then lies
I
about
didn't look
Fansly
away,
having a lot of
man.
obstacles.
So I viewed the advertisement very differently than a lot of people, because even when you scan the QR code, you still don't immediately get porn. There's already a lot of degrees of separation and a lot of obstacles to go through.
What happens? This is crazy that this website is being promoted in front of hundreds of thousands of children, because as soon as I go to the homepage, I am instantly greeted with an open vagina despite the account being underage.
This is the most disgustingly manipulative part of her entire video here, because if she goes forward in this clip, I then go on to say that I didn't have the knowledge that Fansly wasn't secure, and that it didn't actually have any safeguards in place to prevent under 18-year-olds from accessing the content on its site. I was under the assumption that there was ID verification and a lot of obstacles in order to go through in order to set up your account. In that video that she is playing, I said that these things turned out to be false.
Another playthrough seed. Might as well just do it, right?
That it is actually easy for anyone to have an account there that is underage and access the content. But I didn't know that prior. Now, the whole point I was making with this statement, this section here, is that there is still a degree of separation between Aiden Ross just bringing up full-blown porn, we're talking fully penetrative fucking goat seed porn on stream, versus the Fansly advertisement, which had no nudity at all. The point I was making is they were different in that they weren't just the exact same thing done by two different people. Granted, they are both sexual content for sure. The Fansly advertisement was not full-blown porn right in the viewer's face right off rip. Thus, I was arguing it is different. Now, it's very clear to me MuKitty has never even bothered to do the bare minimum of scanning that QR code during the Fansly advertisement. She's using a different video to try and make her point for her without doing even just a little bit of work. If you scan that QR code, I'll show you exactly what happens. This is the first thing that pops up. This is like the peanut butter and jelly of safeguards.
Also, now he's promoting it.
Ever. Are you 18? Yes or no, basically. But this is already something that contradicts a lot of what people were saying, where there was no 18 plus at all. If you scan the QR code, you immediately get fucking porn. That is not true. That's not a point MuKitty was making, but I do want to address that. It's not like you just scanned that and immediately got porn. You did have the same safeguard that apparently Kick has, that a lot of people said is why the Aiden Ross situation is actually not as bad as this, because at least there was an 18 plus warning. Well, there is an 18 plus warning here too, so they're very similar in that regard. Now, once you enter, you're still not getting porn. You then go to this, like, Twitter thing. It's like some kind of Fansly Twitter thing.
Added later?
Where if you scroll down,
there's
you
no
still
shots.
don't get porn.
Unless you're right,
You get
I
their
don't
little
know.
red carpet interview moments. Then, if you go to the very first link there, then you go to the actual Fansly site, and once again, you still don't get nudity. Now, the pictures are more sexual, but still, the nudity is blurred out. In order to
there's no
actually
shot.
access the porn, you have to
then
claim
that's
the subscription
that's
and
100%
then make an
guilt
account or
instantly.
sign
Then
in
if
with
they edit
Twitch.
it later on after the fact.
There's a lot more you have to go to get the porn out of the Fansly advertisement versus the Aiden Ross just pulling up the porn as a jump scare in front of the entire fucking audience out of nowhere. That's the point I was making. These are two very different situations, but did have commonality that makes them both bad. But I still believe the Aiden Ross one is worse. You don't immediately get the porn from the Fansly advertisement, and it's not exactly 2 clicks.
Guys, don't make arguments around safeguards, okay? We've already established that you either accept safeguards as they exist and they're there, or as they're useless. There is only 2 stands about this. There isn't, oh, these are decent, these are bad. People that say they're bad will never agree that they have any use. People say that they're good will always remember that I said it. It's a very black and white situation. Nobody is in the middle about internet safeguards. We've already established this the other day when we had this debate. Just forget about it. Don't even try it. Don't even try it. Don't even try it.
Away, but it is still extremely easy to access and has no real age verification in place to ensure that your account is 18 plus. If you sign in with Twitch, it just kind of fucking takes them at their word, like, Scout's honor, you're 18 plus, I believe you, and then gives you the porn, which is a problem. That is an issue, and that was not knowledge I had prior to the whole situation here. I was under the impression that no kids could really access it due to like actual safeguards that would ensure only 18 plus were using it, like an ID check or something. But that is not the case, which is why I've admitted I was wrong about it. But they are still 2 very different situations where you don't immediately get porn out of the Fansly advertisement versus literally getting shown porn with the Aiden Ross.
Alright, that makes sense.
But that does not excuse the QT Fansly promotion. It is still bad. We are on the same side. I don't know why she can't see this.
He lies about now saying a statement immediately, which indicates to the viewer that he did say one, when he never did. God, when he just said that anyone can access and you only need your Twitch account.
Is completely different than an advertisement to a platform that does have porn, but a lot of things that they'd have to do in order to access it.
He then ends the video with saying neither is great.
Classic MuKitty. She leaves out the part in that video where I admit I was wrong about not knowing how easy it was to access. Because it helps her point if she leaves that shit out. I said it in the video, I've just addressed it again here. There are more things you have to go through in order to access porn from the Fansly advertisement as opposed to Aiden Ross just putting the porn right in your fucking face and shaking it around, but neither are good. I also was under the assumption that Fansly was only accessible to 18+ after you verified your age. I don't use the platform. I thought you had to verify you were 18+ in order to get to the pornographic content. Thus, I thought it was even harder for children to have got porn out of that advertisement if they weren't of age. Not only would they have had to leave the platform to get it, they would then have to verify their age and make an account for it. I thought there was a lot of steps to it, making it very difficult for them. But according to some research now, it actually seems like Fansly is extremely easily accessible for anyone of any age. There's not a whole lot of security to it based on the things I've read, which is knowledge I didn't have last night.
Yeah, I mean, we'll agree that
Super
other
weird
security
happened
works
to
are
have
not
left
this
out
sounds.
that part where I openly admit that I was wrong about the ease of access to the porn, where I admit that I completely was on the wrong assumption as to how difficult it was to access all of it.
Seed can
I'm sure she
suck my
didn't
fucking
mean to
balls.
exclude it on purpose. It probably wasn't malicious. She might have just overlooked it.
But he only called out one, which is the point. But he still doesn't think he's a hypocrite. This is the best example of a hypocrite in denial. Both are bad, or in other words, neither is great. If the only one he called out was a stranger, and the one he didn't was his business partner. Guys, how is this hard to understand?
I'm getting more and more tempted just to comb through the goddamn streams for 14 fucking hours to find the part where I do say that the QT Fansly promotion was weird after replying to chat. But I'm not going to be petty about it. We're going again to continue to push forward without that. Even still, me laughing at it I do think is pretty obvious, but we're going to throw that to the side as well. Even still, we'll throw both of those aside. I am saying it's bad. I have now talked more about how bad QT's family promotion is than the Aiden Ross porn situation, MuKitty. Like, I don't know how much clearer to make it. There isn't some deeper plot thread here. I thought I made it clear. I was wrong. I didn't make it clear enough where I stood on it. That's fine. That's a legitimate criticism you can have of me. But it is not hypocritical because I have never defended it. I have never applauded it, and I've never tried to bury it or anything or hide my feelings on it. I thought it was clear, and I was wrong. And I am saying, and I've said a million times now, it's not good. It's not. Like, you are making an issue out of nothing. We are on the same team, and you are dragging this on, and it is getting absolutely fucking shameless now.
He says
Sorry.
I don't like his content.
Sorry, dude, magma
I've
cubes,
never
man.
said this.
Something that I'm
genuinely upset with him when I've never expressed anything against him.
statements, and I also did say I'm not the biggest fan of the way she edits her content.
He
Boy howdy.
Well, I mean, that's just funny.
This
to be
is a
honest,
bunch of hullabaloo nonsense points now.
Okay, well, isn't it? I don't even mind her content, and I've called it this is some Zoomer brain rot type shit. It is what it is. I mean,
maybe you're a huge fan of the content. I guess I could be wrong. I was making an educated guess based on the way that you talk about me on Twitter and in the comments section. But I guess I could be wrong. Maybe you absolutely love my shit. Maybe you're a huge fan of the Moist Wrestling League. I don't know. I guess you're right. I didn't know for sure. I was just reading between the lines of everything you've been saying about me and posting about me. The next point is about her being upset. I assumed she was passionate about the topic, but maybe that was the wrong thing to assume. Maybe she's only ever treated this like fake outrage. I gave her the benefit of the doubt that she actually cared about the subject, so I assumed she would be upset if she genuinely thought I was defending it. So I guess I was wrong about that. Maybe she doesn't care about any of this, and this is all just a big game to troll for her. So yeah, I guess I could have been wrong there too.
Some tomfoolery,
sure.
perhaps?
I'll admit that could have been the wrong assumption to make. And then line number 11 had me really scratching my head here, and then calling it an ego thing. It was part of an apology to you, because I said on stream that I really didn't like the way you edited the content. I called it Zoomer editing, and I said that sounded mean-spirited when I didn't
that's
mean
what
it.
I said.
I just meant that it's not my personal cup of tea. I've never been one to really like huge amount of sound effects and a lot of crazy effects and sounds and music going on. And I said I didn't really like it, and it came across mean-spirited, so I apologized. I wanted to make sure that you didn't feel like I was insulting you personally, like I fucking hated you, just because I didn't like the editing. I don't know what the lie is here. I was being honest. I still don't like the editing. That's just me being honest. That's not a lie. I don't really know what this part here is. I just can't even understand there's a real debate. I know MuKitty's really upset.
He starts lying about me saying Aiden Ross did the exact same thing, when I've never said that.
I'd like her to put her money where her mouth is. If she really thinks that the Aiden Ross Pornhub situation is exactly the same as the QT Cinderella one, then I want her in her next video. Again, I could be fully wrong here about her being upset. She had made 3 tweets about me within like 2 hours right before I went live. So to me it sounded like she was passionately upset about this whole situation. And like I said, if she was actually caring about the subject, I feel she'd have every right to if she really believed that I was defending it and okay with it. So again, I could have been wrong. Now, I like how she cuts off what I was about to say there because I still think this is something very important. Her video has me in it, side by side with my Aiden Ross statement where I said it was weird that he pulled up porn to his viewers that had kids watching,
Right.
versus me laughing at QT pulling up the porn advertisement to viewers that had kids watching. So, what everyone inferred, including myself, is that she was saying these situations are the same, and Moist Critical is a hypocrite because he called the Aiden Ross thing weird, but didn't say it was weird when QT did it. That is the assumption I and everybody else who saw that video made. Pretty much everyone who watched your video interpreted that moment
no
as
Grable
you
chat.
saying that Charlie said Aiden Ross Pornhub moment was weird, but didn't have that same energy or say the QT Fansly promotion was weird. Thus, he is a hypocrite. So my point was, if this is what you were saying, and it seemed to me and most people that it was what you were saying, that these are the same thing, and thus Charlie's a hypocrite, then I said, put your money where your mouth is, and in your next video, play the Aiden Ross uncensored, unedited Pornhub moment, and then play the QT Cinderella Fansly promotion unedited, uncensored, and we'll see how closely related they are. See if they really are the exact same situation.
Ah, shit.
And I was saying, I don't think you do that, and for good reason, because the Aiden Ross Pornhub moment's gonna get you banned, because it's fucking porn, whereas the QT Fansly promotion has nothing sexually super explicit, no nudity. I played that entire advertisement in my last video, and it was totally fine. That one is a safe to watch thing that links to things that are not safe for minors to watch, which is bad. That is not good, but it is not exactly the same situation as Aiden Ross bringing up Pornhub. And that's what I thought, and most people thought you were saying with your video with me at the end. So I challenged you to prove that you felt that way by playing both of these uncensored and unedited side by side to prove if you really felt they were exactly the same. You have now kind of backpedaled on that, or maybe we were all wrong and that's not exactly what you're saying. I guess that's totally possible as well. But I think we can all recognize that what Aiden Ross did is not the exact same thing QT Cinderella did with the Fansly promotion, but it does not exclude the Fansly promotion. I hate that I have to keep hammering that home now, but I'm going to keep saying it because it apparently needs to be made abundantly clear.
Then he lies about
Wanna go
saying
backwards first?
both are bad and called one much weirder, which indicates that he called Cuties weird when he never did.
Oh my god!
Both bad, but one's definitely worse.
Yo, Moist, shut the fuck up. Who asked about any of this shit, bitch?
Feeling down, can't see